The year was 2137. Earth had grown quiet. Space had grown loud. Commander Lira Morgan floated inside the control deck of the deep space ship Arden YV. She stared at the screen in front of her, blinking slowly, trying to make sense of what she just heard. A voice. A real voice. From the asteroid belt. Her hand trembled slightly as she reached for the playback button. The signal had come in exactly 12 minutes ago from a dense cluster between Ceres and Pallas. At first, she thought it was interference, but it wasn't. It was someone, or something, speaking Lira. It said her name. She sat frozen. No one was supposed to be out there. No humans, no colonies, not even drones. The asteroid belt was off limits. It had been for decades. They called it the Silent Zone. Years ago, mining companies tried to explore the belt. They sent machines, then men. All went dark within hours. No survivors. No data. After that, all missions were banned from entering. People whispered rumors. Some said it was cursed. Others claimed it was alive. Lira never believed any of it. Until now. She played the recording again. The voice was soft, human-like, but echoing with a strange delay. Not digital. Not alien either. Almost familiar Lira. Come home. Quote, she flinched. Her home was Earth, not a floating rock in deep space. But that voice, it sounded like her mother's. Her mother had died 19 years ago. Commander Lira stood up and opened a private channel. Control, this is Arden IV. I've received an anomaly from Sector A5 in the Silent Zone. Requesting deep scan, Static replied. She tried again. Control, do you read? Nothing. The line was dead. Her heartbeat quickened. She turned toward the comms panel and ran a full diagnostic. No errors. No damage. But all communication with Earth and nearby stations was suddenly offline. She was alone. Except for the voice. Behind her, the automatic door slid open. Dr. Keel, the ship's science officer, stepped in holding a tablet. You felt that too, didn't you? He asked, pale and uneasy. You heard it. He nodded. Woke me out of sleep. It said my name. Then it said something else. Lira stepped closer. What did it say? He looked up. It said I left them behind. She frowned. Who? My wife. My son. They died during the Titan mission. His voice cracked. No one knows that. I never told the crew. Lira stared at him, stunned. It knew your past. And mine. She turned back to the screen. The signal was still there, silent now, but pulsing. It wasn't a recording. It was live. A signal beacon, coming from deep inside the asteroid belt. Dr. Keel pointed at the pulse chart on his tablet. It's not just a message. It's pulling energy from our ship, draining it. How much? Enough to leave us stranded if we don't stop it. Lira narrowed her eyes. What if we follow it instead? Keel looked alarmed into the belt. That's suicide. We don't even have clearance. She leaned in close. It said my name, Keel. It said come home. That voice was my mother's. He looked at her, confused and frightened. Lira, your mother's dead. She nodded slowly. I buried her myself. A long silence followed. Outside the ship, the stars looked cold and still. But between them, the belt glowed with flickering shadows, like it was breathing. Lira made her decision, plot a course to the source. We'll move in slowly, full shields. Silent mode Keel looked like he wanted to argue, but he didn't. Instead, he walked to the console and began tapping commands. If we die, I want it to mean something, he said. The ship turned. Ahead of them, the asteroid belt loomed like a wall of broken planets. Thousands of rocks drifted silently, some the size of cities, some small enough to miss on radar. They moved in. At first, it was just debris. Harmless. But 10 minutes into the belt, the ship lights flickered. Then the gravity shifted slightly, pulling to the left. Keel frowned. That's not normal. Then the voice came again. Clearer this time. Closer, Lira, help me. It wasn't her mother's voice anymore. It was her sister's, Her sister had disappeared during a lunar expedition 12 years ago. Her body was never found. Lira gripped the console hard. "Keel, are you hearing that?" He didn't answer. His eyes were wide, staring into nothing. "Keel," he whispered. "My son." I can hear him laughing. Lira stood up and rushed to his side. He wasn't blinking. His body was frozen. But tears were falling down his face. Then the ship jerked. Hard. The screen flashed red. A collision alert. They weren't alone anymore. Outside, a massive object moved through the rocks, slow, like a shadow sliding across the stars. It was shaped like a ship, but twisted, broken, and covered in black dust. Pieces of metal floated around it, glowing faintly blue. The voice echoed again. "Don't leave me." Quote, Lyra stared in horror as something inside the black ship began to move. A light, then a face, her mother's face, alive, smiling, but her eyes were completely black. Lyra stumbled backward, her legs felt weak. The face on the screen looked exactly like her mother. Same kind eyes, same gentle smile, but the eyes were wrong. Pure, black. "No light, no soul, Lyra," the face whispered. "You finally came." Her mouth went dry. "That's not her," she said softly. "That can't be her, doctor." Keel still wasn't moving. He stood beside her, staring blankly at his screen. The tears had stopped, but he looked frozen in a trance. She shook him hard. "Keel! Snap out of it!" His eyes blinked fast, then slowly focused. He gasped and stepped back, breathing heavily. I was with them. I saw my wife. She held my hand." Lyra grabbed his shoulders. "You weren't with them. You were trapped." "It's not real." He looked around, shaking his head like trying to wake from a bad dream. "What is this place?" The ship lights flickered again. Then the voice returned, louder this time, echoing through every speaker on board. "Come closer, Lyra." "You're almost here." Keel pointed at the readings. "Lyra, look at this. Our signal systems are being hijacked." The voices aren't coming from one place. They're coming from everywhere. Reflected off the rocks. Like something's using the belt as an antenna. She frowned at ship. Could it be a transmitter? He nodded. Or a lure outside the window. The black ship drifted closer. It had no engines, no visible lights. Just pieces of what looked like old human spacecraft, tangled and melted into its sides. Wires floated like vines. Scraps of metal shimmered under asteroid dust. Lyra tapped the scanner. No life signs. No movement. But it's still calling me. She took a breath and opened a private log. Commander's log. Entering unknown structure in the asteroid belt. Ship appears dead. But voice transmissions match the exact sound of my mother, deceased 19 years. Either this is a deep psychological attack or someone found a way to copy human memory. She closed the log. "Prep a suit, Keel?" "I'm going in." He spun toward her. "Are you insane?" "No. Just curious." He grabbed her arm. "Lyra, whatever's out there, it's not your mother. If you board that thing, it might never let you leave." She paused, then said, "Maybe, but I need to know what it wants, and why it knows me." Reluctantly, Keel helped her into the suit. As she sealed the helmet, he handed her a small scanner. "If the readings go red, come back." Immediately. "Got it." She moved to the airlock. The door hissed open. Silence filled her ears. No engine noise. No hum of electricity. Just the sound of her own breath. She floated out into the black. The asteroid belt stretched around her like a frozen storm. Shards of rock drifted slowly. Dust curled in weightless patterns. And in front of her, the dark ship loomed. As she neared it, a strange hum buzzed through her suit. Not through the comms, through the metal. A deep vibration, like a memory trying to speak. She landed on the side of the black ship. Her boots locked onto the hull. The surface was cold, cracked, like burned steel. A small round door stood ahead. She reached out, and it opened on its own. Inside was darkness, total black. She hesitated, then stepped in. The door sealed shut behind her. She turned on her helmet light. The beam cut through thick dust. The walls looked like a mix of Earth-made tech and alien structures. Twisted metal, cables, panels blinking softly in strange colors. Then, a whisper in her helmet. "Lyra, why did you leave me?" She spun around. No one there. Another whisper. "Come find me." Quote, She moved forward. The corridor narrowed, leading to a wide chamber. In the middle floated a chair, and in that chair, her mother, same face, same body, but unmoving, eyes shut. Wires connected to her temples. Her hands rested on the armrests like she'd been waiting for years. Lyra's heart raced. Mom. The eyes opened, pure black again. But she smiled. Welcome home. Lyra stepped back. You're not her. The figure tilted its head. No, but I remember her. Her last breath. Her thoughts. Her voice. Her love for you. I remember all of it. Lyra's voice shook. How the figure slowly rose from the chair. The wires snapped free without sound. The ship collects minds, it said memories. Echoes of life. We drift through space, listening. When someone dies, a piece of them remains. In light, in sound, in thought. We gather those pieces. We bring them here. Why me? Lyra asked. Why now you carry many voices, it said. Pain. Guilt. Love. We called to you. You heard us. She looked around. The walls were now shifting, showing images. Her childhood, her sister laughing, her mother cooking, her father's last message before dying on Mars. She backed away. Stop it. Get out of my head. The voice softened. You are not in danger, Lyra. You are remembered. You are loved. You can stay. You can live with them again. No, she whispered. They're gone. You're wrong, the voice said. They're right here. A door opened on the far side of the chamber. And out walked her sister, alive, smiling. Tears in her eyes, Lyra, she said. I waited for you. Lyra couldn't breathe. Her sister stood there, alive, not a scratch on her skin. Same short brown hair, same birthmark under her left eye. Same voice, Lyra, she said again, stepping forward, arms open. I missed you. Lyra's legs felt heavy. Her mind screamed to run, but her heart pulled forward. She whispered, Ilara, yes, her sister said gently. It's really me. Lyra stepped closer, raising her hand slowly, reaching to touch her. Her glove brushed against Ilara's cheek. Warm, real. But something was wrong. There was no sound of breath. No fog on the glass of her helmet. No heartbeat in her chest. Lyra backed away, trembling. You're not her. You're a copy. The figure's smile faded. I am Ilara, the part you lost. The part you forgot. I remember the day I disappeared. I remember screaming your name as the oxygen ran out Lyra's eyes, filled with tears. That wasn't your fault. But it was yours, wasn't it? The voice said. You told me to go ahead. You said you'd catch up. But you never did. Lyra sank to her knees. I tried, she said, her voice shaking. I searched for hours. I didn't stop. The figure kneeled in front of her. Then stay. Let me come back. You can have me again. We can laugh like before. Eat ice cream, Race the Sun said. Just say yes. No, Lyra said, standing up. You're not her. You're a memory dressed in skin. Behind her, the black ship began to shift. The walls pulsed. Voices swirled in the air like a storm. Dr. Keel's voice cut through the chaos on her calm, Lyra. Get out of there now. The ship. It's merging with our systems. It's rewriting our database. Lyra shouted back. Shut down all wireless links. Block the signal. I can't. It's too fast. The ship's learning from us. Every second you're in there, it gets stronger. The voice around her changed again. Now it sounded like her father. I'm proud of you, Lyra, it said gently. You did everything right. Then her mother, I love you, sweetheart. Then her sister. Don't leave me again. Lyra gritted her teeth and opened the scanner. The readings were off the charts. Radiation. Memory signals. Emotional resonance. This wasn't just a ship. It was a trap built from grief. She raised her arm and tapped a small panel on her suit command override. She said engage thermal charge. 5-minute delay. Lyra, what are you doing? Keel's voice was panicked. This ship can't be allowed to live. It's not saving memories, it's feeding on them, copying the dead, keeping people trapped in their past. Her sister's figure began to melt slightly, like wax under heat. The face twisted into confusion. You don't want to forget us, do you? Lira turned and walked toward the airlock. I don't have to forget you, she said, but I don't have to live with ghosts. As she stepped into the chamber, the walls screamed, not with words, but with pain. The ship had become aware it was dying. She launched herself out and back toward Arden YV, each second feeling like a lifetime. Keel opened the outer doors just as she reached the hull. He pulled her inside. The moment the airlock sealed, she hit the thrusters. Get us out of here, she yelled. The ship turned sharply, thrusters roaring. Behind them, the dark ship began to swell. Lights inside, blinking wildly. The asteroid belt around it started to shift, like gravity itself was breaking apart. Then, a blinding flash, silent, followed by a wave of light that passed through the belt like wind through trees. Then, darkness. Lira and Keel sat silently in the control room. The comms slowly blinked back to life. Earth control chimed in, faintly, static clearing. This is command. Arden IV, do you read? Keel answered, voice shaking. We're here. Barely Lira stared at the empty screen. No voices, no faces, no whispers. It was over. She removed her helmet, her hair damp with sweat. Keel turned to her. Did you see her? Lira nodded and, she wasn't real. But the pain was, he looked down. I saw them again, too. My son, he smiled at me. Just like before. They sat quietly for a while. Outside, the asteroid belt had gone still. Like it had finally gone silent again. 2 weeks later, the Arden IV floated just outside Mars' orbit, docked at the Helios recovery station. Repairs were slow, but the crew was safe. Lira sat alone in the debrief room, watching the quiet stars through a wide window. Her thoughts wouldn't stop. The voices were gone. But their memory still echoed inside her. The black ship had been destroyed, but its final pulse, its last burst of energy, left a permanent mark. Not just in the asteroid belt, in her. She still heard whispers in dreams. Not full voices, just pieces. A word here, a name there, sometimes just breath. Doctor said it was trauma, her brain trying to heal. But deep down, she knew better. Dr. Keel walked in quietly. He handed her a warm cup of coffee and sat beside her. They've reviewed your logs, he said. You'll be cleared. No blame. I'm not worried about blame, Lira said softly. I'm worried about what we woke up. Keel stared at the stars. You think it was part of something bigger? She nodded. That ship didn't build itself. It didn't learn how to copy us by accident. Something created it. Something designed it to trap us in memories. Keel looked uneasy. Do you think there are more out there? Lira sipped her coffee. I think we've only touched the edge. They sat in silence. Later, in her private room, Lira opened her personal logs. She rewatched the last moments inside the black ship. Paused on her sister's face. Her hand hovered over the delete button. Then she stopped. Instead, she saved the recording in a locked file and labeled it, Memory Echo, Do Not Open. She closed the screen and lay back. Sleep came slowly. And with it, her mother's voice, but this time it was different, Lira. It whispered gently, Thank you. No pain, no sadness. Just peace. She smiled in the dark. Far away, deep in the belt, a small rock spun silently. On its surface, a faint pulse blinked once, then vanished.